Welcome back, Tarot fam. I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner and psychic for over 35 years. In this fourth video of my Around the Room reading on the Beckham Peltz family dynamic, we are going to unpack our final character in the dilemma. It's Victoria Beckham, my favorite Spice Girl. So in this reading, in this series, I'm reading for each person individually. I'm not assigning blame. We're trying to understand where the tensions began, how it's being experienced, and what would actually help mend it. I do this with my clients all the time, give them some perspective, and then give them some actionable tools so that they can live their very best future. So this reading, again, is just going to be on Victoria Beckham. But drop your questions down below as we go. We're going to skim across the dress. We're going to talk about the twerking dance, but we're going to do some cool stuff here. So sit tight. I'm going to be right back. Welcome, Tarot fam. So if it's your first time here, I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner for over 35 years. I'm also a psychic. I do all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm learning astrology. We are going to unpack some of this Beckham family drama, and we are wrapping up this 4-part series with Victoria Beckham. So was the origin of her beef, or the friction, I shouldn't say her beef, the friction between her and Nicola Peltz? What is the origin? Is it valid? Is it valid? Let's take a look. We're going to drop some of these carnival cards. 10 of Pentacles. Ace of Wands. Knight of Pentacles. 5 of Wands, 10 of Swords, and the Knight of Swords. So it's a little intense. I'm not surprised. I think that Victoria Beckham is probably really intense. 10 of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, right in the middle. I do think that VB thought that Nicola was going to be a great asset in the Beckham family dynamic. I think she initially thought she was going to be really a good asset, but a raw asset that needed to be steered in a direction. Coming from such a well-heeled family, I don't think that Nicola was likely to be steered into anything by anyone other than the players in her own family. If you haven't watched the rest of the videos, you can go back and watch my video on her. And it really appears that she was looking to bring Beckham into her family versus be initiated into the Beckham family. So I think she was absorbing Brooklyn into her family as opposed to kind of joining another family. And I did say I thought she was quite myopic about that, because it doesn't look like she really was seeing any other option to do like a 50-50, like be part of this family, be part of this family. We do Easter at this house. We do Passover at this house. We do Christmas here. We do Thanksgiving here. It doesn't look like she was really looking in those terms. She wasn't looking to blend two families. She was looking to bring Brooklyn into hers. So the 10 of Swords up here, I think the inflexibility was something, and I don't know their signs. I will go and look at their signs after this and possibly look at their numerology as well. I'm going to keep reading on this dynamic. So stick around, because there's going to be more. But up here, this 10 of Swords, I do think that Victoria Beckham very quickly realized that this was not going to work, and that this party was not going to come along and do as the Beckhams do. Here, the Knight of Swords, I think she was glad when they shuffled off to Florida or LA or wherever they wound up living at. I think they have 2 places. They must be, really, really slumming it. The Knight of Pentacles underneath, Victoria Beckham thought that she was going to be another part of the brand. I do intuitively get that she was like, okay, when they have a baby, we're going to start to work with that brand. And, you know, baby Beckham, oh my God, how cute would that be? Hopefully they're going to give that to Harper, their little girl. But I think very quickly Victoria abandoned this plan. I don't think she really thought that it was going to be a good plan. I already asked this in David Beckham's reading. Did Victoria think this marriage was going to make it? Absolutely not. 4 of Cups and 2 of Wands. She recognized that they were very, very different people right away. Even though the Beckhams are footballer royalty, and he is knighted, Sir David Beckham, Lady Beckham. They really come from 2 different worlds. And the pelts world is not something that is comprehensive to the Beckhams. The luxury and the grandeur, sure, that is all comprehensive. But the means of getting there is not. The ways and means of getting to that place of prominence were very, very different for the 2 families. And I do think it's almost as if they spoke 2 different languages. Very, very curious. So I don't think that Victoria thought that they were going to go the distance. And I will say this, my son's father is from Scotland. And one of the things that I didn't realize was how different cultures were despite having a common language. So I think a lot of people fall into this handsome little trap when we are dealing with English speaking countries and different cultures. Canadian culture is very different from the United States culture as well, as we can see from their choices of prime ministers and how they respond to the presidents that we have here down in the lower 50. So would Victoria come to the negotiating table? Is she flexible on this? 1 card. Absolutely not. Magician in reverse. She does not want to share her gifts. She does not want to share her world with this person anymore, specifically Nicola. She does not want to breathe the same air as her. Can't blame her. Queen of Pentacles, the Hermit in reverse, the Tower, Emperor, 6 of Pentacles, and Judgment. So with that Queen of Pentacles and the 6 of Pentacles so prominently placed here, she is not willing to fund the lifestyle of any child of hers. She's not willing to fund the lifestyle of any child that is not hers. So I think that the not sharing of the wealth, and that includes the branding, and perhaps that is where these contracts came from that were requested before the wedding. Perhaps that's where that came from, because it may be that Nicola and Brooklyn had some ideas about branding that they were going to go forth with. And that was part of the reason why those contracts were drawn up. There is something here that is decidedly curious. The Tower card at the bottom here is cataclysm from without. And we have the Emperor card here. This is Patriarch. Matriarch, more masculine energy than the Empress Matriarch here. And I'm reading in the moment. Today's the 21st, and we are wading through the trauma of that Instagram post that Brooklyn did, where he said his mother danced inappropriately on him. Curious language there, on him. And also said that, they were actively trying to disrupt this relationship, his parents both. That's a pretty loud statement. And that is something that would happen from without, that would change all of our perspective on that with this Tower card. So I do think that in this moment, she is judging her son and holding him responsible for what he has done. She would not come to the table at this time. Would she come to the table with just him? No, she's furious. Sorry. Would she go to the table if it was just her and Nicola? Three of Swords. I think she would confirm the separation if it was just her and Nicola. I think she would say, take him. Go ahead. See what happens. Go ahead. Good luck to you both. It's really unfortunate because we don't want to see Brooklyn return to his family broken and broke. We don't want to see that. I think this is really traumatic. Let's unpack the twerking. So much twerking going on. Without mentioning any names, Greg and I actually watched someone we know basically give her child a lap dance on their 21st birthday.
When everybody talked about it.
What was that?
We weren't there. Everybody talked about it.
Yes. Well, privy to.
No less disturbing.
No less disturbing, yes. So, Greg, what did you say before? You should not give your child a lap dance?
No one should, no mother should ever consider or involve twerking anyway, whether in utero or out utero.
Yes. Yes. No twerking for moms.
Sorry if I sound a bit conservative on that, but
No, I'm with you. So, did she actually do it? And we do have someone who claims to have been at the wedding who said that they did see it. Did she do that? Oh, dang it. Hierophant. She did. Was she Pete? Yeah, I think she had a lot of cups in her. Where are my Russians at? You saw me do that? As a Russian thing. As if you're drunk. So, Two of Cups. Yeah, she had a few in her. I don't think that she's a full-blown, power alky. You can't. Victoria Beckham has eaten the same lunch for like 30 years because that's what keeps her fit. I saw her working out in one of their videos, and holy moly, she's got great arms. She's rail thin, but you don't get that kind of body without discipline. So I don't think that she's a big booze hound. To wit, she probably is a little bit of a lightweight, and she probably had more than she could handle in that moment. And maybe, it's wedding day. You're drinking all day. You start the day with Prosecco. So what about the dress situation? What's her take? What is Victoria's take on the dress situation? And then we're going to get to what they can do to fix it. 10 of Swords. The Lovers. This was a complicated process. Both of them are in reverse, and it was not tenable. They weren't going to get anything done. What was her biggest fear about it? The Star, that it wasn't going to be done. And Three of Swords, it was going to look like a disaster on the wedding day. 10 of Cups. So that makes sense to me. She just didn't want it to be a disaster. I honestly think she was having trouble getting her to do the fittings properly, collaborating on the design. I think there was a lot of input there. And if you look at Nicola's wedding dress, the one that's in the bride and groom dance, it's a very simple dress. It is a Valentino, but it is a very pretty simple dress. And she had the opera length gloves. Lovely. I thought a little bit more with the opera length gloves. It was a little more debutante than it was bride, but that's just my opinion. Let's see what they can do to fix this. What can Victoria Beckham do to fix this? Restore her son and his marriage, even though it's probably not going to wind up going the distance. What can she do? Path, Two of Pentacles, pressure, Page of Wands. So this is someone who is always going to be contentious to deal with. Nicola is always going to be an adversary of sorts, but we can create two worlds in which we can coexist. Developing a path line where we have holidays, they rent the house next door, they stay in the guest house or whatever it is, so that they're out of range. They have their own personal space that they can go. They don't have to sleep in Brooklyn's old bedroom in the house, creating that and having scheduled limited time together will allow her to re-engage with her son. It will allow. The pressure, I do think, and I'm going to say this, I do think that they're going to head into parenthood fairly soon. Not right now, but fairly soon. I think they're going to head into parenthood. And I think that that's going to be the knife that really gets Victoria, because she is going to miss out on that first grandchild or the second grandchild. And I think she really does not want to have that kind of a situation where she's kind of looking through the plate glass window of the department store. The hidden hand here, Seven of Wands in reverse. I don't want to say that Nicola is a chaos monger, but I do think that when she doesn't get her way, she is a chaos monger. I think she can throw a right fit. And there are some people out there, I believe she hired and fired a number of wedding planners. She just wasn't. And I think there was a lawsuit with one of the wedding planners because they had pretty much done all of the planning and then she fired them, didn't pay them. So I think that, she sometimes sees problems where there are none. And that is a challenge to have to kind of learn how to conduct yourself with a person like that. Not an easy task. Public face. Eight of Pentacles. Let's not see this splashed across the front pages where we hear, oh, we're having a meeting here. Oh, they're having, their own Sandringham summit. I don't think we should be doing that. Just keep it quiet and gently bring them back into promotion. Have them come up and stand for some photos. There's that one photo op, the step and repeat they were doing, where Victoria she's wearing the white suit and she actually turns her back to her and she's just emphatically ignoring Nicola. Emphatically. It's kind of wild. So private goal here. Knight of Pentacles. Victoria doesn't want to give them any money for, again, lifestyle. Would she invest in their world? I think David would. So why wouldn't Victoria? I mean, she may have a different opinion about it. We're not going to unpack that here. What is our likely pivot? Ace of Pentacles. I think you get nothing. You leave the Beckham family fold, you get nothing. And I think that this is a bit of tough love on her part. I think she is really saying, if you want to spit in my face, you get nothing. You get not one iota. He's going to have to sell those watches. I know he did like an Instagram post or an interview where he's talking about the watch that his father gave him, his watch collection. Like, these people with watch collections, like, go on. Like, it's crazy. I have a little watch collection, but they're not like super fancy watches. They're like $100 watches. And I just got them. So I had different colors, like one's rose gold and one's steel, one's black, one's white, one's a health monitor and one's just a regular watch. So I think she is, the way that Victoria Beckham feels better about this whole scene is by not supporting her son and his wife and their lifestyle moving forward. And I do think that there probably is a little bit of a handout, or there was a little bit of a handout and probably Nicola's father is footing the bill for that at this point, because she is decidedly wealthy. I mean, I think she has 7 siblings or something like that. So her father's got enough to spread it around. But I do think that this is the Victoria Beckham solution to make her feel as warm and comfortable. If her son, in fact, wants to stand on his own 2 feet and be his own man, let him be his own man. Go forth. Do what you got to do, dude. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. But I hope you guys have a lot of questions, because we're going to do lives on this. So drop them down below. We'll catch up on a live. We'll talk about this a little bit more. If you have a compelling question, I may do a full-blown video on it. But I don't think that this particular battle is going to go away right away. I think it is going to die down faster than the Harry and Meghan thing. We're not going to get a 6-7 year storybook on, you know, the perils of being in the royal family and running away to Canada. But I think we will have a number of flare-ups. So, you know, we had the one piece of PR that Brooklyn put out there. I'm only communicating with my parents through our attorneys. And then a couple of days later, he puts up this Instagram post and he kind of splashes it all over the place. Is the rest of the world not aware of this? You know, maybe they were before that Instagram post, but now it seems to be front and center news. So, you know, he burned the bridge. You know, the powder keg was spilled all over the place and he lit the match. So now we're all a little bit more aware of his disgruntled ex-child antics. So again, not placing any blame, but I do think that Brooklyn is being a little short-sighted on this. I think he is resorting to more tantrum style tactics than actual strategy. And I do think that strategy is a much better bedfellow in this particular situation, because then we can get to a negotiating table and work out some terms and details of membership in the Beckham family or excommunication from the Beckham family. We're going to keep talking about this, guys. So hope you enjoyed it. I will certainly take your questions on this. And like I said, we're going to talk about it in a live. So stick around. I'll see you in the future.